Everywhere. Part 453. Ah, don't worry, Theo. According to my sweet mama, love counts. A few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink. Doc, do you not hear? On the day the new food space is born.
What's up, gang? I do want to test and see if they did fix this update, hopefully. Because then I'll, like, finally get motivation back into working. Oh, dang it. Hold on. No! Oh, bro. Still broken, bro. This is stupid. This is stupid, bro. I swear, bro.
Don't worry, Theo. According to my sweet
Oh my god.
A few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat to drink. Doc, do you not hear?
Alright, I'm just gonna do some BR, might as well then. Oh, BR, forgot about OG. I'm gonna try to get a dub in OG. I do want to try to do that though. Then where is? What? Does it really only work with their base style? That's crazy. Ooh. Oh. I love the hair on this one. I love it. The coloration is the lime that is needed, and then that blend, that is a beautiful blend. Ooh. Her headphones look like. Oh wow. Are her tattoos also colored? No. Not at all. Oh, is it too late now to say sorry? Wow, this is pretty. We left all the penny iron, left all the penny iron, left all the penny iron. I just realized Neo Tilted isn't like a remix at all. Bro, what are you doing here, bro? Dink. What's that? Oh. Suppressed SMG. Yeah. He has to be a floor below. Ooh. worked out nicely. Where is this dude? He's going down. Going down. Dude! Done.
Just sound like you said the N-word, by the way. Just sound like you said the N-word, by the way.
There we go. I don't know what to do. Ow! Ow! Oh! Rain, go away.
Forests are coming to Minecraft with their orange sugarcane, but they're actually pretty rare, except if you use this seed, which is insane because it has a 1.5 billion block dappled forest biome at spawn. Interestingly though, load up this same
if we do in this nice little tripoint between red, yellow, and orange, you can see that it effectively gives us a fourth color. The same is also true for jungle leaves. I think these ones work the best in my opinion, but the same is also true for dark oak leaves. I think that this is the closest fit if you're a texture builder, but then we've also got acacia leaves that do the exact same thing, and so some blocks in Minecraft actually can fit perfectly in this biome, and some, like the azalea, the taillock, or the cherry leaves, cannot. This means that we effectively have different blocks. We weren't sure if we should have expected them, so I think orange sugarcane is one of my favorites. As a sugarcane farmer, it's about me that happens to have the world's first layer 0 to sky type sugarcane farm. Why do I have it, and why is it manual? Because that's the way you should do it. But the interesting thing here is the fact that this is a beautiful example of sugarcane, but the same is true of regular grass and the fern and the tall fern and the tall grass. And although you can't have firefly bushes and you can't have drip leaves going super orange, you can have vines operating in this beautiful new color set. And so even though officially there's only 56 new blocks and items, you actually get a bunch of new ways to use your existing ones. Is it worth giving a new village variant to this biome? And to be clear, it's basically how we asking is give under the structure that they did add in this update, if you haven't already seen it. So to finish the section of things we didn't talk about the update, is the one that I have to imagine I want to mine a block kind of in a different shit. It's made from wool and so however, if you want to do this on the stairs that they come from, it's not only
Yo!
yes, and that is a very fun little thing, but another
oh, bro!
Explore a new surface biome and find the wandering traders hidden stashes spread around the world. What's space gazing? A
People ask me, Kanye, what you gonna do if you didn't win? And, I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
Yay, Mr. West. most influential and controversial artist of the 21st century, nominated for over 75 Grammys throughout his career, winning a grand total of 24. Over 160 million records sold worldwide, with every single one of his solo albums entering the Billboard Top 5 and being certified platinum upon release. Billions upon billions of streams online, millions of sales through his clothing ventures, and years of thriving in the public spotlight has secured him as one of the most well-known personalities of this generation. However, this fame was not achieved without setbacks and controversy. In fact, Kanye is no stranger to bad press and media storms. In recent years, life's struggle and trauma has become clearer than ever, with rough patches of mental health and bipolar episodes becoming more and more frequent, sporadic, and hateful. In this video, we'll follow the life of the young, aspiring rapper from Chicago, covering all events big and small, such as his family, car crash, relationships, controversies, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. We'll witness everything that has occurred in the past 25 years to mold and transform the Kanye the world once knew into the almost unrecognizable Ye of the current day. And doesn't all biography, we must start right from the very beginning, a small city in Georgia almost 50 years ago. Kanye Omari West was born on June 8, 1977 to Donda and Ray West in Atlanta, Georgia. His father worked many jobs prior to his birth, including a photojournalist and Christian counselor, two highly uncommon jobs for a black man at that time, and most notably, a former Black Panther, protesting for black rights and against police brutality. His mother, on the other hand, was a proud English professor at Clark Atlanta University and the chair of the English department at Chicago State University. Sadly, Kanye never properly knew his father after him and Donda's divorce when he was 20 years old, leaving no further contact with Ray, and no father figure in his life. Luckily for him, however, he had been blessed with a loving and resilient mother who meant the world to Kanye. Shortly after the divorce, the pair moved to Chicago, Illinois, in search of a clean slate and a new life. Here, he quickly grew a love for the city of Chicago and its specialized hip-hop culture, a love that he would retain for years to come, referencing Chi-Town in multiple songs like Homecoming. It's due to being surrounded by hip-hop all the time that he gained a fascination for it at such a young age, writing poetry at only 5 years old, and not much later, experimenting with beats with other instruments. 5 years later, Donda would be offered a teaching position at Nanjing University in China, which he would accept because of his future in life. Subsequently, this ended Kanye's youth years in Chicago temporarily as him and his mother flew out to China when he was aged 10. Despite only living in the country for 1 year and being the only foreigner in his class, according to Donda, Kanye settled in perfectly and quickly picked up the language, although he has since forgotten most of it. It's highly likely that his time in China and exposure to Asian culture is what introduced him to the work of Takashi Murakami, a Japanese artist whose unique style of vibrancy and super platinum would have Kanye in a chokehold of obsession for years to come. Before he knew it, it was time for him and Donda to head back to Chicago in order for him to continue his education and graduate high school. And that he did, much to the relief and satisfaction of his mother, who made an effort to prioritize academics. Kanye received a scholarship for Chicago's American Academy of Art in 1997 and began taking painting lessons, which he enjoyed to an extent, but felt like his creative talent could be used elsewhere, in the music industry, which he was passionate for. Shortly after, he transferred to Chicago State University to study English, but it was still no use. He'd recently crossed paths with producer No ID, who became Kanye's friend and mentor, which, combined with Kanye's growing intolerance for education, was the final nail in the coffin. At age 20, Kanye West dropped out of college to pursue his musical career, an act which greatly displeased his mother at the time, but would go on to be the best decision of his entire life. It's the mid-90s in the Chicago area. Since dropping out of college, his mother has since came to support and accept his decision. Kanye spent his time creating beats and producing for small local artists, even receiving his own official production credits for the debut album of underground rapper Grab. This helped to put his name out there, which clearly worked, as in 1998 he caught the attention of Hip-Hop Since 1978, a management production company. They liked his work and specifically took interest in his unique work. In fact, they liked it just enough to sign him as their first producer. He appreciated his time there and the opportunity to ghostwrite for D-Dot. However, he had his eyes set on more. He wanted to release his very own solo album. However, due to his association with D-Dot and his company contract, he was unable. In response, Kanye took the only rational option: leave hip-hop since 1978 with no finances to fall back on, and form the Go-Getters. a hip-hop group composed of him, GLC, Timmy G, Really Doe, and Aerostar, fellow aspiring Chi-Town rappers. In 1999, they released their first and only studio album, World Record Holders, financed through the bare-bone beginnings of West Company Good Music, known at this time as Conman Productions. Kanye quickly outgrew the group, going on to produce for bigger artists like Foxy Brown and then Jay-Z under the next company in his journey, Rockefeller. His work on Jay-Z's 2001 album, The Blueprint, is often credited with revitalizing Jay-Z's career and certainly shot Kanye into the eye of the industry. He produced beats for Ludacris, Alicia Keys, Janet Jackson, yet still, he struggled to attain a record deal as a rapper. On the side, through all of this, he had been reaching out to various record labels asking for a deal, only to be met with denial each time. The reason being that he didn't portray the gangster image prominent at the time. Hope seemed lost. It felt like he had asked every record label in Illinois. But then, desperate to keep Kanye from defecting to another label, the head of Rockefeller, Damon Dash, reluctantly signed West as a recording artist. Finally, for the first time in his career, it felt like Kanye was beginning to taste the life of a rapper. Doors to the life he's dreamed of finally started to open up for him. And then, October 23rd, 2002, Kanye was driving back from a studio at around 3 a.m. It had been a long day of recording with multiple artists, which led to him falling asleep at the wheel and crashing into the surroundings of West Hollywood. Upon being rushed to the hospital, it was revealed that he had suffered nasal fractures and shattered his jaw in 3 separate places. His jaw was wired shut for 6 weeks, surely marking the end of his promising musical career. But Kanye refused. Just 2 weeks after being admitted to hospital, barely able to move his face, he recorded Through the Wire, unaware of his message. At the same time, he announced that he was working on his first solo album, titled none other than The College Dropout. The album was delayed 3 times from its initial release date in August 2003 due to leaks and Kanye's recovery from the crash, before finally releasing in February of 2004. Instantly, it took the industry by storm. Slow Jams became the first #1 hit, as well as the 2 features, Jamie Foxx's Jesus Walks and Through the Wire both reached top 20 of the Billboard Top 100 chart, despite predictions that they would both be flopped. In the end, The College Dropout was certified triple platinum in the US and earned 10 Grammy nominations, including Best Rap Album, which it received, leading to one of the most iconic speeches in award ceremony history. The attention and rise in popularity naturally led to more media appearances, which gave West the opportunity to share his personality with fans as well as his music. Bear in mind that at this point, the world was blind and unaware of Kanye's character. On a 2005 live fundraiser for the victims of Hurricane Katrina, he took the opportunity to share his outrage for the current president, claiming, "George Bush doesn't care about black people," live to millions. In response, Kanye found his name plastered as an article headlines in the coming days, criticizing his egotistical and arrogant nature, his first major controversy, but far.
But I don't do too well with apologies. I hope I don't run out of time. Can someone call a referee? 'Cause I just need one more shot. Have forgiveness. I know you know that I made those mistakes maybe.
And by the end of the year had sold over 2.3 million units in the US alone, with standout hits including Gold Digger, Roses, and Hey Mama. It's for this reason that Kanye was confident in his song Touch the Sky, winning the Best Video Award at the 2006 MTV Europe Music Awards. Unfortunately for his reputation, he was wrong. As the award was being passed over to Justice and Simeon, he stormed onto stage, arguing that he should have won the award instead. Hundreds of news outlets worldwide criticized the outburst, childish, immature, unprofessional, angry. This was the image slowly being painted of Kanye worldwide, reinforced more and more after every public incident.
There we go,
At the time, no one considered what was making him act this way. Mental health, childhood trauma, especially the media. He publicly apologized for the incident, but he didn't solve the growing questions towards his intentions at heart. Nonetheless, he tried to brush the controversy off as a minor road bump. Instead, he continued with the overall success of 2006, proposing to his current girlfriend, Alexis Pfeiffer, as well as dipping his toes in the fashion industry, experimenting with his own clothing line. To put it nicely, it was a failure, and would later be discontinued in 2009. However, it verified his desire to move into fashion and taught him vital lessons about the industry. Fast forward to September 2007. Kanye's third studio album is set to release on the same day as 50 Cent's new album, a seasoned and prominent figure in music by now, with 3 albums under his belt and a prominent gangster reputation in the hip-hop world. Despite this, Kanye released Graduation on its intended date, selling 957,000 copies in its first week. But that wasn't the shocking part. The part which the world couldn't believe is that Graduation had outsold 50 Cent, a feat which would have seemed impossible just a few years prior. By this point, it was clear that West was no longer a small fry, but had cemented himself in hip-hop history, and he didn't intend to slow down anytime soon. Soaking in the glory and praise which Graduation was receiving, the news of single Stronger being a #1 hit, even Bape collaborating with him for an exclusive sneaker drop, Kanye had every right to feel like he was on top of the world. But the world is cruel, and it made sure to kill his momentum entirely, barely after he started to appreciate it. The world is cruel, so it took away the most important thing to Kanye. In November 2007, just 2 months after the release of his most successful album yet, Donda West died at age 58 as the result of a plastic surgery complication. It destroyed him.
Last night I saw you in my dreams. Now I can't wait to go to sleep. Last night I saw you